let's take a look at the new Speedmaster 57 from Omega that was new this year in 2022. Now, I was fortunate to see the black sandwich dial configuration at Brent Miller Jewelers when I was out there last filming in the authorized dealer. And this is a model that I've very much been looking forward to seeing in person, looking at this 57 design, but it's still very much a contemporary take on that retro Speedmaster, seeing how it wears on wrist. Does it wear too small? Does it feel perfect, right? I think some people don't like the larger size of the Speedmaster Pro. Some watch enthusiasts don't really love the lyre style lugs. I love the lyre lugs myself, but this one obviously is the linear case shape, and it has some of those elements from the original Speedmaster from 1957, like the steel bezel insert and like the broad hour handset and the alpha style sub-register hands. But again, like I mentioned, it is a contemporary or a modern take on that design. It's not a recreation. I would say it is an authentic homage. So we also have some differences, like a sandwich dial on the black version, the black dial configuration. And it will also have a bicompax register layout, a date complication at the 6 o'clock position, a printed logo and not an applied logo. And we also unfortunately have the modern font that Omega uses and not the retro font. But again, I can live with that because it is not a recreation. It is an homage. We also have some of the classic elements that we expect with a modern watch, like a larger case size, a display case back, features like sapphire, anti-reflective treatment, a milled clasp, screw links. That is all present here on the Speedmaster 57. But again, in essence, it's a 57, but it's also a modern Speedmaster. And I have to say, I do like the way this wears. It is perhaps a tad shiny for me. I don't know. Whenever I think of a Speedmaster, I think of a very toolish watch that has more brushed elements than it does high polish elements. And if you opt for this on the bracelet, there is quite a bit of polish that is a good thing in some elements or instances, and sometimes it's not so much of a great thing in the eyes of watch enthusiasts. But on the whole, I do like this execution. I do like this layout, and I am very much looking forward to seeing the blue dial configuration and the green dial configuration, and especially that burgundy dial configuration. Now, a couple other things to note. There is a very distinctive gritty dial texture, which paired with your sandwich dial, your sunken markers, that really reminds me of Panerai, and take that for whatever you will. And then we also have a blackout date disc at the 6 o'clock position. I think that looks nice. I don't think this would look so nice if it was a white date disc. That would stand out, I think, too much. So I like the blackout date disc. But here's the other thing. We have old radium superluminova. Now, sometimes I'm not bothered by it. I think it's just a warm look. It's a softer look, but I think it can be overused in today's market, and Omega has been guilty of that. Whenever they do a heritage-inspired model, more often than not, it has the old radium superluminova, and it might be too much so. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Am I being a little bit critical or unrealistic here? I recognize why they're doing it, but imagine this. Imagine if this was standard BGW9 or a variation of C1. So it had the white contrast, and we paired white text and white indexing on this black dial, very similar to how this would have been worn back in 1957. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be refreshing? Sometimes I wonder if in decades into the future, we look back at the 20-teens and the 2020s, and perhaps if it continues into the 2030s and 40s, of the overly done Fauxtina era of watches. And I wonder if we will just roll our eyes as watch collectors at that future point at how much this has been done. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about that. I think this could be pretty cool with standard lumen, not superluminova in the old radium tone. But let's finish out this review by talking about the excellent movement, which I think is a major selling point of this model. It is called the Caliber 9906. It is a coaxial column wheel caliber, an in-house caliber that will be certified by the Swiss Federal Institute of metrology or metas. We also have a silicon hairspring, twin barrels that hold 60 hours of power reserve, and a very beautiful balance-centric arabesque finished main plate that I think is, oh my goodness, so nice looking. So we see the free sprung balance. We see the silicon hairspring. We see, a little bit of that column wheel, but we're looking at something that is very beautiful and drawing the eye in naturally in kind of a curvaceous way to the heartbeat of the movement, the heartbeat of this caliber 9906. So I like that, and I also like the fact that this is very proportional and it fills out the back of the case back to a very pleasing degree. It's not too small, it's not too big. I think it's just the right size. So that being said, please let me know if you have any specific questions about this Speedmaster 57 new for 2022. If you're shopping for an Omega, I'm going to place my recommended authorized dealer in the description of the video. An excellent AD in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So again, reach out with questions. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.